Quiet is often described as empty, an absence of sound, an absence of activity, an absence of something happening. But for many people, quiet doesn't feel empty at all. It feels unfamiliar, unstructured, sometimes even slightly uncomfortable. And yet, when people spend enough time with quiet, something interesting often happens. They begin to notice a rhythm, not imposed, not forced, but slowly emerging. A personal pace that feels different from the one set by schedules, notifications, and expectations. Much of daily life runs on an external rhythm. Alarm clocks, deadlines, messages, conversations that demand immediate response. This rhythm keeps things moving, but it isn't always aligned with how we actually think or feel. Quiet interrupts that pattern. When external cues fall away, the mind no longer has to react. It has space to wander, to pause, to settle. At first, this can feel disorienting. Without noise to guide attention, thoughts surface more clearly. Sensations become more noticeable. Time feels less segmented. But this is often the beginning of something else. In quiet moments, people often become more aware of their internal tempo, how quickly their thoughts move. When their attention drifts, what holds their interest without effort? This rhythm is usually there all along. It is just difficult to hear beneath the constant sound. Quiet does not create it. Quiet reveals it. This is why solitude feels different for different people. For some, quiet brings calm almost immediately. For others, it brings restlessness. Neither response is a problem. They simply reflect how much space the mind is used to having. When sound and stimulation are constant, quiet can feel like too much room all at once. But over time, many people notice that this room begins to organize itself. Thoughts slow down. Attention becomes less scattered. Moments stretch slightly. A rhythm begins to form, not dictated by clocks, but by internal cues. Creative insight often emerges here, not because quiet produces ideas on demand, but because it allows ideas to surface without interruption. In silence, the mind makes connections more freely. Memories drift in. Questions linger longer. This is not always productive in a measurable sense. Sometimes it looks like daydreaming, or staring out of a window, or sitting with a thought that does not yet have a shape. But this slower rhythm is often where understanding deepens. Quiet also changes how we experience time. Without constant input, moments feel less compressed. The urge to fill every gap fades. This allows people to notice patterns they usually move past. When energy rises, when focus dips, when rest feels necessary rather than optional. These signals are subtle, and they are easy to miss in noisy environments. Quiet amplifies them. Importantly, finding a rhythm in quiet does not mean withdrawing from the world. It does not require isolation or long stretches of silence. Often, it begins in small spaces. A walk without headphones. A few minutes before sleep without a screen. A quiet morning before the day accelerates. These moments are not about escaping life. They are about recalibrating to it. Over time, people often find that quiet helps them return to activity with more intention. Decisions feel less reactive. Attention is less fragmented. Effort aligns more closely with interest. The rhythm discovered in quiet does not replace external structure. It complements it. It offers a reference point. This is why quiet can feel meaningful rather than empty. It is not the absence of sound that matters. It is the absence of interruption. Without interruption, the mind remembers how to move at its own pace. Of course, quiet does not solve everything. It does not remove uncertainty. It does not eliminate discomfort. But it does provide a space where those things can be noticed without immediately being managed. And sometimes, that is enough. In a world designed around speed and constant engagement, quiet offers something different. Not answers, not instructions, but rhythm. A way of moving that belongs to the individual rather than the environment. Something subtle, something personal, and something that becomes easier to recognize the more often we allow ourselves to listen.